Dear students, today we are going to start Unit 2, Chapter 4, Plant Physiology. Plant physiology is the branch of biology which deals with the life functions of plants. Let us study the absorption of water in plants. Like animals, plants also have cell, tissue, organ, and organ system. There are two main systems of a plant, that are shoot system and a root system. The part of the plant which below the soil, that is a root system, the part of the plant which is above the soil, that is a shoot system. The main functions of a root system are fixation of the plant in the soil, absorption of water and mineral nutrients from the soil, conduction of absorbed water and minerals to the upper part of the plant. Water is needed inside the plant body for four purposes, that are photosynthesis, transpiration, transportation, mechanical stiffness. Photosynthesis: water used as a raw material for synthesis of glucose. Transpiration: a large quantity of water gets evaporated as water vapor from the leaves during transpiration for cooling in hot weather and for producing suction force. Transportation: transportation of minerals in solution form from root to leaves or shoot, and prepared food from leaves to other parts of the plant. Mechanical stiffness: water provides turgidity and stiffness of plant tissue. Turgidity means the fully distended condition of plant. Characteristics of a root for absorbing water. Look at the diagram. Freshly germinated seed showing the single root with many root hairs. Root provide large surface area. Plants have many roots, and roots are branched extensively and possess numerous root hairs. Therefore, altogether, the roots of plants provide large surface area for absorption of water. Look at the diagram. It's a root hair. Root hairs are modified epidermal cells of the root. It has large vacuole, cell wall, cell membrane, cytoplasm, etc. The cell wall is thin and allows the movement of water molecules and dissolved substance freely in and out. The cell membrane is also thin but semi-permeable. It allows water molecules pass through and prevent the large molecules of the dissolved salt. Root hairs have large vacuole containing solution called cell sac. Some salts are dissolved in it. and has higher concentration than the surrounding soil water. This enables them to draw water inside from the soil by the process osmosis. The entire mechanism of absorption of water and minerals from the soil by roots and its upward conduction through the stem is the result of 5 main phenomena. They are imbibition, diffusion, osmosis, active transport, turgidity, and flaccidity. Let us study imbibition. Imbibition is a phenomenon by which the living or dead plant cells absorb water by surface attraction. The substance which made up of cellulose or protein are hydrophilic. Hydrophilic means it has a strong affinity towards water. They have tendency to absorb water. That means the cell wall of the cell is made up of cellulose and they have a tendency to absorb water. For example, wooden doors swell up on contact with water. Due to imbibitional pressure, the seed coat ruptures during germination of seed. Have you noticed when you make a sprout with grains, while germinating the seed coat ruptures due to imbibitional pressure only. Let us go to next slide, diffusion. Diffusion is the process of movement of molecules of a substance. It may be solute or solvent or gas or liquid from the region of higher concentration to lower concentration when they are in direct contact. Look at the diagram given. It shows a diffusion process. If we put crystals of potassium permanganate in beaker containing water, it diffuses through the water molecules. Look at the first diagram. One corner of the beaker contains more red color. That means that region has more solute concentration. From there, it gradually diffuses through the water molecules and distributed uniformly, giving pink color to the water. The beaker C, the diffusion, beaker C shows the diffusion completed. Next is osmosis. Osmosis is the movement of water molecules from their higher concentration to their lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. In osmosis, only the water molecules move from their higher concentration to their lower concentration. Look at the diagram given there. It shows the process of osmosis. Thistle funnel filled with the concentrated sugar solution and mouth of the thistle funnel covered with cellophane paper. Invert the thistle funnel in a beaker containing water and mark the initial level of sugar solution in the thistle funnel. After 2 hours, in this setup, we can see the level of a sugar solution in the thistle funnel rises due to osmosis. That means the water molecules moves from beaker to thistle funnel. With reference to a cell, the osmosis can be either inward or outward depending on the concentration of solutions surrounding it. If the concentration of the solution is the same as that inside the cell, there is no net movement of water molecules. The two types of end osmosis given, two types of osmosis given, end osmosis and exosmosis. End osmosis is the inward movement of water through a semi-permeable membrane when the surrounding solution is less concentrated. Exosmosis is the outward movement of water through a semi-permeable membrane when the surrounding solution is more concentrated. Both cases, examples given there. In exosmosis, you see fresh grape put in concentrated solution. After some time, shrinkage of grapes occur due to exosmosis. That means concentrated sugar solution contains less water and more sugar solute. That's why from the grapes water comes out. That process is known as exosmosis. Semi-permeable membrane. Semi-permeable membrane which allows certain molecules to pass through it and prevents the larger molecules also. Semi-permeable membrane are cell membrane, egg membrane, animal bladder, cellophane paper, parchment paper. These all are the examples of semi-permeable membrane. Look at the diagram given there. It is a semi-permeable membrane. Semi-permeable membrane is porous and it both sides contains solution, two different solution. Left side more dilute solution, right side less dilute solution. See, more dilute solution contains more water and less dilute solution contains less water. From more dilute solution, water molecules moves to less dilute solution through a semi-permeable membrane. How long the osmosis continue? Osmosis should continue until the concentration of water molecules becomes equal on both sides of the membrane. Some definitions are given there. Osmotic pressure. Osmotic pressure is the pressure required to prevent the osmotic entry of water into a solution is called osmotic pressure. Active transport is the passage of substance, it may be salt or ion, from its lower concentration to higher concentration through a semi-permeable membrane by using energy from the cell. Active transport is in a direction opposite to that of diffusion. In diffusion, the molecules move from higher concentration to lower concentration. Passive transport is the free movement of molecules from their higher concentration to lower concentration through cell membrane without need of energy. There are three kinds of solution on the basis of relative concentration of water and solutes with respect to their concentration in the cell. Isotonic, hypertonic, and hypotonic solution. Isotonic solution has the same concentration of water and solute as is inside the cell. The relative concentration of water molecules and the solute molecules on either side of the cell membrane is the same. Then hypertonic solution. The solution has higher solute concentration than inside the cell. That means the solution outside the cell has more solute and less water than the fluid inside the cell. Hypotonic solution, the solution has lower solute concentration than inside the cell. In this condition, the solution outside the cell contains more water and less solute than the fluid inside the cell. To understand the three conditions, we see the diagram given. Look at that diagram given here. An animal cell and a plant cell placed in three different kinds of solution. For example, animal cell, here it is taken RBC cells, figure A, RBC cells placed in isotonic solution. Water entering the cell is equal the water leaving it. And the result of the cell is cell shape and size remain unchanged. Second diagram, the RBC placed in hypertonic solution. Hypertonic solution means outside the cell, solution contains less water and more solute. So exosmosis takes place from the cell. Result is that the cell shrinks in size and loses shape. Third cell, it's a cell placed in hypertonic solution. That means outside the cell, solution contains more water. So endosmosis will take place in the cell. That means cell become turgid. Same will happen to plant cell kept in isotonic solution, hypertonic solution, and a hypertonic solution. When a cell reaches the stage where it cannot accommodate any more water, that is, it is fully distended. Such a state is called turgid. And the condition is called turgidity. You must note that the state is turgid and the condition is a turgidity. Look at the diagram given there. A plant cell shows that these are all important factors, that osmotic pressure, turgor pressure, wall pressure, also given there. Look at that. When a cell is turgid, its wall is stretched under pressure from inside. The pressure of the cell content on the cell wall is called a turgor pressure. Pressure of the cell content to cell wall. The pressure exerted by the cell wall on the cell content is the wall pressure. At any time, the cell wall is unable to bear the target pressure, it ruptures and the cell content bursts out. This is exactly what happens when fruits and vegetables sometimes burst. When a plant cell kept in salt solution for few minutes, it will lose its distended condition because the cytoplasm shrink and the cell membrane withdraw from the cell wall. This shrinkage from the cell wall is called plasmolysis. The condition is called flaccidity, and such a state, the cell is called, state of the cell is flaccid. If a plasmolysed cell kept in water, it regains its original shape. The reversal of plasmolysis is called deplasmolysis. Root pressure. Root hairs absorb water and minerals from the soil and it reaches to the corticoscales. Root pressure developed due to cell osmosis in the root tissue. Root pressure is one of the forces to raise water up through the stem into leaves. Here some more definitions given. Guttation is the loss of water in the form of droplets through the margin of the leaves. Adhesion is the attraction between the molecules of different substance. Cohesion is the attraction between the molecules of like substance. Adhesion and cohesion is coming. The forces for helping ascent of a sap. Look at the diagram here. The root hairs absorb water from the surrounding soil and it reaches to the cells, epidermal cells, and from there it is reaching to the xylem tissues, and the xylem tissues conducts that water towards the stem. Vascular bundle in the stem, root, leaf, leaf stalk, and leaf veins are all continuous and form an unbroken system of tube. Vascular bundle contains xylem and phloem. Xylem present in the woody part of the stem and phloem present in the bark region of the stem. Here, the diagram given, the two leafy shoots. Diagram A is the twig of the plant with the xylem intact and phloem removed. In that twig, xylem is present, outer phloem is removed. Then B diagram is the twig of the plant with the phloem intact and xylem removed. The lower end of these twigs immersed in water. And after 2 days, we will be found that the leaves in the first twig remain turgid and second twig get wilted. This experiment proves that xylem tissues conduct water upward and xylem tissues present in the central part of the stem. Forces responsible for ascent of sap. What is meant by ascent of sap? The upward conduction of water from the roots to shoot apex is called ascent of sap. The three factors that are responsible for ascent of sap are root pressure, transpiration pull, capillarity forces of cohesion and adhesion. Loss of water from the aerial surfaces through transpiration causes transpiration pull. This leads to absorption of water from soil because of cohesive forces among water molecules, adhesive forces between water and xylem vessels. A water column is maintained from the base of the plant to its top. Then it helps to ascend the sap. These are the topic you study from the lesson absorption. Here, some of the questions for you. Try to solve it and learn for exam also. Thank you.